Hey everybody, welcome to the StonedWallJackson Show, brought to y'all by the Stoned Wall Network. I got some excellent news for y'all today, some great news. They just now voted and everything in the Senate for medical cannabis, and it passed. It had 28 yeas and 6 nays. That's great news. Now it's moving on to the House of Delegates. This is great news, people. This is a historic moment for West Virginia. Thank you, people, for all the hard work y'all have been doing, to gain support and everything in this state. There's a lot of people that, could really benefit from legalizing medical cannabis, and we are one more step closer to fulfilling that dream and everything. We have a financial problem in West Virginia, our budget and everything, and they're talking about a lot of cuts and everything, cuts to education, raising taxes on fuel and everything, and doing that ain't going to help us one bit. There's people out here dying and everything on the streets. West Virginia is one of the worst states, for heroin overdose death rates. And cannabis has been proven to reduce them overdose death rates. And like I was saying, today is a historic day for West Virginia. A medical cannabis bill hasn't never got this far before, and that's great news. It's actually people, in the Senate, they're actually starting to wake up, It really surprised me, I think usually, it's the Democrats or something, are more, pro-pot and stuff. But, it really surprised me, I had a lot of Republicans, in the Senate and everything that supported it and everything. And that's great news. But like I said, we're one step closer to our, our goal. Keep up all the hard work, people. I really thank y'all for working hard. This is a team effort. Thanks for all the prayers. I've been praying every night and everything for this. And prayers do work. God is an awesome God. And I believe y'all can agree with that too. God is a wonderful God. We really need this for West Virginia. You got all his children and everything, it's got these seizures and everything. And got these, Army veterans and everything. He has post-traumatic stress disorder. And we're one more step closer to allowing them to have the medicine that they need to live a healthy, normal life. It just makes me so happy knowing that there is people, that care. And, that's what we need more of in this world. We need more loving, caring, compassionate people that actually cares about the well-being of, of all of these citizens and everything. A lot of people throughout the years, have been brainwashed on the topic of cannabis and everything. They all try to say it's a gateway drug, but it's not. If you want to think about it, the real gateway drug is alcohol. But cannabis has never killed nobody. It's safer than water, tobacco, and alcohol. And not to mention, just think of all these cancer patients, You have a lot of people, used to live in West Virginia, and they had to move away and everything. They was afraid they was going to, I guess go to jail, for illegally healing themselves. But, a plant that God gave us and created and gave us for food and medicine, I don't think should be illegal. It should be up to us, the people, to make the decisions what we put in our body. Regardless, each thing that each of us do, we all have our consequences. Like you do something bad, you got your consequences. But if you do something good, it works that way too. But the government shouldn't be in control of what we put in our body. God gave us free will and a mind to think for ourselves. And, I think this is a right direction, that we're going in. A lot of people, didn't really think that, the Senate was going to pass this. But, I know God does hear our prayers. God always listens. He might not answer our prayers exactly when we want them. But God is an amazing God. And I'm not trying to bore y'all nothing, people. A lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't be putting God in this. God did give us cannabis. And yes, it is medicine. And a lot of people say, oh, God don't mean for you to be smoking it. Well, some people might choose to smoke it. But smoking cannabis is nowhere near as bad as smoking tobacco. But just because, some people smoke cannabis doesn't mean everybody does. But it should be our choice of how we want to consume it. Regardless, smoking cannabis still is medicinal. It might not be quite as medicinal as, the whole cannabis oils or, in an edible or something. But it really helps people. Like I was talking about, the cancer patients and everything. Lots of times they get on these cancer drugs, this chemo, this radiation, and they don't have no appetite or nothing. They can't eat nothing. And, usually that's what ends up killing, the people and everything, because they lose their appetite and they're not able to eat, so they can't sustain their body. What a lot of people don't know is, with the right diet, the proper diet, you can cure about any disease. And that's great news. God, He created our bodies and everything that way, it could heal itself. But with modern diets and everything, with these GMOs and everything, the cancer rates are up and everything. And I'm just so thankful that West Virginia, made this historic vote, the Senate. They voted to pass it. And it's going to House of Delegates. That is some great news, people. West Virginia has been last for too long. It's time that West Virginia moves, in the right direction in the future. I'm very proud of our senators and everything for voting on this amendment and everything, and this bill and everything. It really is great news. And I thank y'all for watching this show. It'll be more from where it came from. And I want to really thank y'all, people. Thank you for all the hard work that y'all have been doing. And continue to work hard. That way we can get it passed through the House of Delegates and everything. Then hopefully the Jim Justice and everything. But great job, people. I love y'all. That's the reason I do is I care about y'all. And West Virginia can't continue on the path it is. Like I say, our budget in this state is gone downhill big time. And like I said, they're talking about having cuts to schools and everything. Well, if we legalize medical cannabis, the taxes from the legal medical cannabis sales, we're going to have plenty of money and everything to take care of our roads and to take care of our schools. We got schools in the state of West Virginia and throughout these counties that are failing. And school is very important. But if they legalize medical cannabis, it's going to really improve our schools, our roads. It'll give us the opportunity to build, new bridges, tunnels. And that's not all. We'll be able to do more research and everything. And, our law enforcement spends way too much money, trying to arrest these people, for smoking a plant. As gentle as the cannabis is, and they want to put people in prison over it. Well, if they legalize it, they could focus on the real criminals. Because somebody uses some cannabis and everything, that ain't a bad person. I mean, they don't hurt nothing. All they might do is sit down on the couch and, eat some potato chips and some hot dogs. But they don't want you eating no hot dogs. But if you want to think about it, people, it's helping a lot of stuff, We'll be buying more food and everything, and hot dogs and everything, so that's going to help the stores out, more business, so that's good. But I really do thank y'all for listening. It'll be more from where it came from, and remember, people, stay positive. God does work, and the proof is in today, Like I was saying, nobody thought that this bill would pass the Senate in West Virginia. But it did. And it's some amazing news, people. I love y'all. God bless y'all.